All right, what is up, Park Junkie Nation? Welcome back. Todd C. coming to you here from Yellowstone National Park. As you've probably heard, the Park Service will be reopening Yellowstone on June 22nd. That's here in 2 days. But the entry to the park will have some restrictions. Let's talk about those restrictions. All right, so yeah, June 22nd, just a couple days away. We're here on June 20th, and the restrictions that are going to accompany entrance into the park on the 22nd, they're really not that complex, pretty easy to understand. Basically, entrance to the park is going to be determined for day users on a license plate basis. If you have an odd numbered license plate, you're going to come into the park on odd numbered days, and an even numbered plate will come in to the park on even numbered days. What that means is if your license plate ends in a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9, you'll be coming into the park on the same corresponding days, like the 1st, the 3rd, the 9th, the 13th, the 15th, whatever. An odd number comes in on odd days, and if your license plate ends in a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 0, you'll be coming in on the even numbered days that correspond, like the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th, the 10th, the 12th, etc. If you have a vanity plate, for some reason, if you have a plate that says Park Junkie, for example, all letters, that's going to be considered an odd dates. You'll be allowed into the odd dates. So all vanity plates will be considered odd dates. And if you're on one of these two-wheeled contraptions back here and you're with a group of 2 or more, you'll be allowed into the park on even dates. So the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, etc. If you have reservations in the park at one of the campgrounds, which will remain open, and we'll discuss which campgrounds are going to remain open here in a second. But if you have reservations at a campground or one of the lodging facilities here in the park, you will not need to have a specific license plate. Reservations trump license plates, so you'll be allowed into the park regardless of what your license plate is, as long as you have a reservation for that date. Now, some of the closures in the park. We've got some campgrounds here in the park that are going to be closed, and of course this is just the south loop of the park open at this time. The Park Service did just announce a couple hours ago that they are looking into the northern areas of the park and what can be reopened up there, but we're going to discuss that in just a minute. First of all, I want to touch on these closed campgrounds that are here in the southern loop. So of course on the 22nd, just the southern loop of the park is going to be open, and there are a number of campgrounds along that loop which will be closed. The Park Service website shows that the Canyon, the Norris, the Madison, and the Lewis Lake campgrounds will remain closed at this time. I assume that's due to water treatment concerns in those facilities. I'm not sure about that. That's just an assumption. But I've got a little hail coming down on me right now here on June 20th in the park. You never know. If you don't like the weather in Yellowstone, wait 10 minutes and it will change. But so a little hail for you here for Park Junkie. Back to the point about the campgrounds, however, if you are staying at one of those campgrounds, again, the Canyon, the Norris, the Madison, or the Lewis Lake campground, you have probably received an email by this point telling you that your reservation has been canceled. Now, the park is the campgrounds in the southern section of the park that are remaining open include the Grant Village campground, the Bridge Bay campground right here near Lake Village, and the Fishing Bridge campground right over in Fishing Bridge on the north side of the lake that allows hard-sided RVs and travel trailers only. No tents and no pop-ups over there. Those campgrounds will remain open. Now, there are camping facilities at several of the gates right around West Yellowstone and right over outside of the east entrance and the south entrance. Some of those campgrounds should remain open. They're not inside the park, so they're not restricted by the actual Park Service plan here for reopening. Now, Another point that we need to address is the backcountry here in the park. If you have plans to come into the Yellowstone backcountry and do an overnight trip here in the park, unfortunately the Park Service will not be issuing permits into the backcountry until July 1st. So if you have plans for an overnight trip, again, not happening until July 1st. Day trips into the backcountry, cool, should be good to go there, but overnight trips restricted. Now, we got some news a few hours ago here about the conditions in the northern area of the park. The Park Service released a press release earlier stating that they are moving rapidly to reopen the Dunraven Pass and the road to Mammoth, and perhaps up even in, I don't know about Lamar Valley going out toward Cook City and Silvergate, but they're working rapidly to facilitate the reopening of these routes. And the Park Service announced earlier that it may be reopened into the northern regions of the park, may be reopened within 2 weeks. So let's look forward to that. Maybe that will be happening. That's not a concrete estimate by the Park Service, but it is an estimate nonetheless. Maybe within 2 weeks, those areas will resume, travel can resume in those areas. So that's pretty cool. I think we should point out, yeah, the Yellowstone Forever project, still accepting donations over there for the folks in the northern regions of the park who've experienced loss during this time. You can check them out over at Yellowstone, the yellowstoneforever.org, and I'll put a link down in the description to the donation page, so you can go over there if you haven't made a donation and you feel like you should do so. Perhaps you could just do that through the link right there. And that's about it from today here in Yellowstone. Again, reopening the 22nd, the license plates. One point with the Canyon Village lodges and cabins will remain closed at this time. I'm sure it won't be long before those are reopened, but they are closed at this time. Again, the south loop of the park open only on the 22nd. Sounds like that Sliding Meadows area up just south of Canyon Village there has been fixed. They are repaving that in the next day or two, so travel can resume there. Good news from Yellowstone. I hope everybody's having a great day out there and enjoying the great outdoors no matter where you are. Thanks for tuning in here to the channel. Check me out over at parkjunkie.com. That's your fix for national park info. And I'm going to get out of here. It's starting to rain a little bit. I'm going to get out of here, jump back over to my humble abode in the great indoors, and turn up the heat. It's 48 degrees out here today, so I'm going to enjoy some heated indoor for a little bit. And we hope to see you soon here in the world's first national park for the 150th anniversary. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Cheers.